This weekend, the dreadful weather here in the UK meant that I got to stay at home and build into my backlog. I'm going to take you through one of the sets that I built over the weekend today. It is the 75394 Imperial Star Destroyer, one I have been waiting a little while to build. As you can see, there's 14 paper bags in this set, a fairly hefty instruction manual, and a little sticker sheet as well, which is always a relief in a build that is this size. And what I'm going to do is I normally would time lapse the build, or indeed I would end up with a build, and I'm going to show you from the halfway point at this point, because I actually think it is possibly one of the most interesting sort of halfway stages of a build. As you can see, there is a ton of Technic blended into the base of the build, with a ton of pins in there as well, and there is triangular shapes created on either side. And on this side you can see there is triangular shape, but there is also 3 pins on either sort of part, the front, the middle and the back, which allows this folding motion, which, as you can see, means you can sort of cover the base and the top of the Star Destroyer. And it comes with that Technic handle that we've seen on a couple other Star Wars items over the last couple of years. I'm thinking mainly of that ATTE. Let's have a little look at what it looks like when it is complete. And as you can see, both sides have been done now, along with the very top of the Star Destroyer and that turret area as well. A lot of talk when this set was first released about the fact that it is smaller than the previous model from about 10 years ago, and I can confirm it is slightly smaller. Like with anything with the Star Wars ships moving forward, it seems to be a slightly higher piece count with slightly more detail with those slightly smaller pieces. So more pieces, but not necessarily bigger because of those smaller pieces, and that's what we have here, is a classic case of that. I thought the thrusters at the back look pretty good, and I'm slightly annoyed with the fact that that sticker placement is ever so slightly out. Other than that, I think the top deck looks pretty good, but as a perfectionist, I really don't like the fact that I've just ever so slightly skewed that sticker off. It may be something I have to amend in the future. And other than that, I thought it looks pretty good. Let me take you through some of the features of this build, and as we've already seen, the Technic handle, that is how you access it, by sort of moving those two flaps to the side. And as you can see, it is pretty sturdy. As of yet, we have not had any casualties. Nothing has fallen off or broken, which is always a good sign. A couple of cool play features to go through here. You've got these shooters on either side. I will not fire a shot off at the camera, so apologies for that. That is how you access them, with that sort of spring Technic button there, which I thought was quite nicely integrated into the build. You've also got the turret guns as well, which generally look pretty good. The only thing is they all move together. You can't move them individually, which is an ever so slight irritant, but you do get the idea there with the motion. Let me just sort of tidy those up so that they're all sort of facing off in one direction, and you can move them with a little pin that you pull at the very back of the Star Destroyer. Let me show you whereabouts that is. It's right at the back there, and it's sort of is really tucked away. And when I first saw it, thought it would be sort of a bit too on display for what this is sort of intended for myself personally, which is a model, and it isn't actually really. It's sort of nicely hidden away at the very back there. And the middle of the Star Destroyer can be lifted off like so. It sort of clicks in and clicks out. It's not actually as loose as you think it might be. I was concerned it might be slightly loose and might sort of fall off every now and again, but it sort of just clicks in. Very easy, very nicely done. And let's open it up, and I'll take you around some of the areas of the Star Destroyer. Let's have a little look around then, from left to right. On the left hand side of screen, you'll be able to see the desk that is used for that promotional shot with Vader and the Imperial officer there. And you've got a cup and some sort of Technic pad on the side there as well. On the very back there, you can see the translucent blue pieces that have stickers on the back, and this is where I don't mind sticker usage, is where you've created screens like that on the back. There's also a couple of little little boxes hidden away at the very back. You've got some binoculars in that one, and a couple of detonators in that Imperial branded box as well. So really nicely done. They go back on the left hand side. A couple more sticker elements that you'll probably be able to see there as well. And as you move to the right hand side of screen, I really like that sort of desk element that's been created with that trans blue sort of circular piece. Really nice light blue Imperial probe as well. You may be able to see in center of screen. Pretty well done. And as you can see on the tiles on the very side to create the screens and monitors, you've got some sticker pieces there, and that is on either side of the build. I think they've done a pretty good job with the sticker usage in this set, and that is high praise coming from me. Let's have a little look at the minifigures, and there are two here without dual molded headpieces, and that is Commander Proj and the Imperial crew member. And neither have dual molded headpieces, and neither do these two figures as well. You've got a Stormtrooper, no different to the one we saw in the Tantive 4 hallway. I do think they missed a trick with the Imperial Gunner, though, not creating a dual molded headpiece onto the next figure, the Imperial Navy Trooper. I like the helmet on this particular minifigure, and the dual molded headpiece looks pretty good. The back of torso, not too bad either. You also get Darth Vader, of course, in this set, and he's no different to the Darth Vader that we've seen over the last 2 years or so. You get that crackled white face feature, no dual molded headpiece. All the minifigures are decent enough, to be honest. Of course, I would have liked a couple more. I think in a set that retails for £150 full price here in the UK, we should be getting a couple more minifigures to pad out the interior of the Star Destroyer. That is probably my only gripe with the minifigures, but we did get one very special minifigure. We got the 25th anniversary Cal Kestis figure. This is an absolute beauty. It might be my favourite 25th anniversary minifigure. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it is my favourite 25th anniversary minifigure so far. Dual molded headpiece. Look at the back torso printing of that. Fantastic. It looks great. His leg printing on the other side looks really good as well. And there's only one thing left to do, and that is to integrate him into the 25th anniversary minifigure lineup. And there is only one left for me to grab, and that is, of course, the young Leia figure. And I'll hope to pick that up on the secondary market at some point in the near future. And I couldn't resist but to put the BD droid from the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter in next to Cal, and I know it's not BD1, but I did want to put it next to him. Slightly envious that young Leia got that Lola dish and Cal didn't get a BD1. That's another minor gripe. This is how I'll have the interior sort of fleshed out. Not that it will be seen, it will be, of course, displayed as a display model, and it will be closed up, but there's a small amount of storyline in there. You've got Vader in behind one of the Imperial crew members, a couple of Imperial crew members at the very front, and the Stormtrooper at the very back there as well. This set for me doesn't feel like a £150 set, and that being said, I still think it is one of the better sets of the year, and that seems to be a theme that we seem to have a couple of overpriced sets this year that are sort of at the top end of LEGO Star Wars sets. Pretty good. Not the best of the year, but a pretty good set, and that is another backlog set done. Join me throughout the month of December when we'll be doing the 12 days of backlog, because we've got tons of backlog left to do, so make sure you are following or subscribe so you don't miss any LEGO goodness coming in the festive season.